Hello students, today I will discuss science of class 3. As you can see on your screen that the name of our first chapter is living and non-living things. I hope many of you have an idea about living and non-living things. Let me share a few examples of living and non-living things with you at first so that you can little bit understand about living and non-living things. Living things are those which has life and non-living things are those who don't have any life. The examples are lion, tiger, cat, human are known as living things, whereas non-living things are pen, pencil, book, etc. Today, I will discuss the difference between living and non-living things with you. Why living things are different from non-living things. What are the characteristics do they have which differentiates between them? Let us move into that difference between living and non-living things. The first point which has been given that living things need air, food and water, without which living things can't live. As you can look into the picture that a girl is playing with a puppy. These two are the living things. That's why they can play with each other, they can interact with each other. Whereas on the right hand side you can see non-living things do not need food, air or water. Here you can see a boy is playing with a car. Here the boy is a living thing and this car is a non-living thing. This car don't need food, air or water. So in this way we have seen the first difference between the living and the non-living things. Second one is our living things can grow and change over a period of time. In the previous picture you can see it was a puppy. Now you can look at the size of that puppy. It shows that it has grown over a period of time and changes over a period of time. Whereas non-living things do not grow big or change. Earlier it was a simple car, now it is the same which it was earlier. It doesn't grow. Why it doesn't grow? Because it is a non-living thing. Next, we have our living things move in search of food. Why do living things move? They move in search of food and water. They also move to escape from their enemies. They try to escape from their enemies. Enemies means dushman. We can see that non-living things cannot move on their own. If you don't push or pull, if you don't push or pull your car, it will not change its position. It will stay at the same place for a longer period of time. So here we have discussed the three difference between living and a non-living thing. Let me move on. Here you can see that living things respond to changes around them. What do the living things do? Living things respond to the changes around them, whereas non living things do not feel. Non living things don't have any sense. Next, living things can reproduce. Living things can reproduce their own ones, whereas non living things cannot reproduce. They are not capable enough to reproduce their young ones. The last point which you can see is that living things grow old and die. Living things grow for a certain period of time, and after completion of that time period, they die. Whereas non living things do not grow old. Non living things do not grow old or die. They remain throughout same. So here we have discussed 6 points which differentiates between living and non-living things. So these are the few points you have to keep it in mind so that you can answer various types of questions based on living and non-living things. I hope these points which I have discussed with you are clear to you, and if any confusion is there in your mind, I will try to solve those afterwards. So thank you this much for today.